folks, Adam here, catting around. Thought I'd go over here to the pawn shop and check on some of the PS4 games. And there's this place over here called Resell Electronics. Cell is in like cellular with this C-E-L-L. I thought I might step inside there just to see what they have. I've never went in there, but I figured it's mainly like phone shit and stuff. But they had video games at Flea Mart. So I thought maybe they might have some games here, and it looks like they do. There's a screen with Sonic the Hedgehog and Mario on it. Over there was something else. It looked like it said PS4 games or something, so let's go in and see what they have here. Looks like they got a little bit of stuff. What comes in this? For 360. Probably gonna get it. It's $5. They got some cartridge games and stuff here too, so might go over and look at that. It's kind of a small place, but they got quite a bit of stuff actually. $5.
I don't like some of candy. Pretty sweet.
Got a boy on the blob in the box, Robin Hood. Deadly Towers. Around 20. I mean, that's not horrible. I just never see this stuff out in the wild anymore.
today. So, much. I have some PS2 games I want to sell. These all have games in them that I want to do like things that I can do with Father as well.
Couple 3DO games. They have a flashback, but they want $36 for it. I don't want to pay that much. How's it going?
You're right. I thought we were going to do movies like that for a while. I thought they recreated the car. So.
Here we go. You got a few more box games here. They got baseball, ice hockey. They're not games I'm really super psyched about picking up a copy, so I'm gonna let them slide. This isn't horrible. Night Trap. Some 3DO games, I've got quite a few, but they're not in the long box, so I'm not gonna bother. They do have Primal Rage though, $26.
Have you watched Shooter? No, the show? Is that
We got Dr. Mario in the box, Top Gun. A few long box PlayStation games. Mainly sports. Two or three 332X games, but they're like $20 a piece. Got quite a bit of cool stuff. I just don't want to pay because I either have it or I just don't want to pay that much for it. There's like Resident Evil, PlayStation, and like a PS3 case. $10. Probably homemade case art or something, I don't know. Well, folks, Resale Electronics had a lot of cool shit. They had some 3DO games. They're a little expensive, especially the ones that weren't in the long box. The flashback was $26, and I actually considered it, but I didn't know if it had the directions. I looked through a lot of their cartridge games and stuff, and they were reasonably priced considering nowadays. I mean, it was like, you know, but some of the more expensive ones, like I saw they had Romance of the Three Kingdoms in one of the cases for like $75, and I think I have that in the box. So, or maybe that's the PS1 long box. I think I have Romance of the Three Kingdoms in complete though. So it's like one of those deals. I did end up picking up that Resident Evil Outbreak, and I bought another one of these. The dude wanted to charge me fucking $10 for this thing, a Nintendo case that holds 10 games. And I go, $10, huh? That's a little more than I want to pay for it. I go, what about $7? I go, if it's like 7, maybe I'd buy it from him. And he goes, do it for 7. And then while the guy's ringing me up, the other guy jumps up and gets on the internet and goes, well, you got a good deal. That thing on eBay is going for $20. You know, and I was like, yeah, good for me. You know, so I still, 7 was actually more than I wanted to pay. I wanted to pay about 5, but I was like, yeah, if I say 5, he's not going to go for it. So I picked that up. We're at the pawn shop now. We're going to go in and see what PS4 games they have. And we might go over to Vintage Stock. I actually met a guy in the parking lot of Resell Electronics named Brock. He looked like he was maybe in his early mid-20s, but he said he was a collector, and he had a lot of stuff, and that he originally lives in Jeff City, but he's been up here for work. And he asked me if he wanted to exchange Facebook info or whatever. I told him it was cool, and he ended up I ended up telling him I had a YouTube channel, so he might come and check out the YouTube stuff, which is cool. I love to interact and talk with people about retro stuff. He knew who Metal Jesus was. We talked about Metal Jesus for a few minutes. I love Metal Jesus's channel, so yeah. And he's like, he goes, I usually hit the 3 flea market. I used to go to the flea market over there, and they closed that. He goes, and I hit this Resell Electronics and the pawn shops and the Vintage Stocks, he said. So he goes everywhere that I go or have gone. So he might be competing with me for all I know, but it was pretty cool to meet him. I thought it was pretty sweet. So he said he mainly collects, he quit collecting retro, but yeah, and that's kind of where my heart still is. But you know, since we just picked up the PS4 and I'm fucking pissed off at that fucking XCOM 2 game. I'm playing it on easy. It's so fucking hard. I've got so many comments about this thing, about how they changed some of the stuff and how it's just, it's cheap. It fucking, I want to throw the controller half the time playing it. It's just like, I get to the very end, it's like, oh, you're not getting out of this without losing a motherfucker. One of your characters is dying no matter what. So anyway, let's go in and check out the pawn shoppy here, and then we'll roll on. Roll on, roll on. So the pawn shop had some games, but nothing that jumped out at me. I saw Batman Arkham Knight for like $10.99. I have liked all the other Batman games, Arkham City and Arkham Asylum, and I think I have one called Origins that I've never played, and then I have a Telltale Batman game that I've never played. So I don't know. I thought about picking it up, but I wasn't sure if $10.99 was a good price, because I haven't really priced the stuff. And I have my cell phone. I pay for my cell phone I just buy minutes for it. I don't have an actual plan because I don't want to spend that much money, because to be honest, I don't hardly talk to anybody on the phone except my sister, and she's been working so much the last few months that I don't even really talk to her that much. So it's just not worth it for me to pay 50, 60 bucks a month to have a plan so I can have internet on my phone and shit. So it's not like I can look the prices up while I'm out and about on my phone. Unless the place happens to have Wi-Fi, I can, but still, it's like, I just don't like doing that. While I'm shopping, you know, usually with retro stuff, I've got an idea of whether I think I can get it cheaper or not. But when it's the PS4 or, you know, PS3, it's like, I don't know. I'm not, well, PS3 I kind of even do now, but anything this gen, I don't have a clue if it's a good deal or not at this point, because I'm fairly new to it. And like I said, I picked up 3 games, and it came with one. And one of them was kind of a spur of the moment buy because it was really inexpensive and brand new at Toys R Us, and I decided, hey, I'll just go ahead and buy it. And then I like it. I mean, it's okay, but it's something I didn't want to jump into really because I was planning on the 2 games that I ordered for it being the ones that I wanted to play, and XCOM 2 being one of them, which I did get, and I have been playing, and it's the one that I started, you know. But it's just like, because of that, I'm just not sure, you know, if I want to be buying a shitload of games so I can be back in the same situation where I have all these games and no time to play them, you know. So, anyways, I'm going to go over to the vintage stock. I'm not really that excited because, like you say, their vintage stock is so small nowadays, or it's extremely pricey, whatever they have in their cases. Resell electronics was, I would say, on the average, a bit cheaper than vintage stock prices, but I still think that based on the prices from, you know, 3 or 4 years ago, we're still paying premiums, you know, for loose carts. And I mean, like, they had some box Nintendo games there. They had Top Gun and NES Play Action Football. They had 2 copies of Robin Hood, and both of them they wanted like almost $20 for. And it's just like, I don't know, those aren't titles that I want. I told you there's only about 6 choice titles that I still want to get in the box, and then the black box games, which seem to be outrageous all of a sudden. And those games aren't even that's mainly just for the collector, because those games have no value. I mean, replayability, they're just really simple, like baseball and 10-yard fight. I mean, those you're not going to sit down and play, you know, really, or if you do, it's just for a minute or 2, because there's nothing really to the game. And they want, you know, $40 for a box copy or whatever, and it's like, well, how much am I going to play it, you know? So I keep hoping I'll luck into some good deals on that kind of stuff. We're way tilted here. Crooked. It's all these Missouri roads with all these fucking potholes and road construction. And so I didn't pick anything up at the pawn shop. I actually considered, and I am considering, and I have been for a minute, picking up another 360, one of the slim 360s or whatever, just so I have another 360 in case anything happens to happen to my one that I have. And they had one there, a black one, and I think it had it had a pretty good sized hard drive in it. I don't know, it didn't just have the bare minimum. And they wanted $50 for it, but I didn't know if it came with all the hookups and everything, because it just said $50 and was sitting up on the shelf. Well, it said $49.99 or whatever, and it's sitting on the shelf, but I didn't know if it came with a controller and everything, or whether they're just, you know, oh, it's missing the TV cord, and, you know, because, I mean, I got a good deal on a Wii there one time, and it was like, oh, but it's missing the power supply. Well, the power supply ended up costing me as much as the frickin' Wii cost me to buy, you know, so I think I went past vintage. No, I think we're good. I'm driving back roads. Fuck. You're gonna love this. The camera keeps fucking moving and shit, and it's like, I don't know. Gotta find parking in this lot. The coldest winter chill. Okay. Go straight across. They're fairly busy at the moment for some reason. It is Saturday, but come on. Rorp. Let's pull in here. All right. we've arrived. We've arrived at Vintage Stock. We're gonna go in and check it out and probably scoff at their prices and hate ourselves for coming here. $16.99.
Oh yeah.
It's one of the, it goes in this game that I'm buying, right? It goes in that, right? It's very simple. I'll take all 40. I don't know which one.
$40 for faxing and a do in the box.
Yes, we are done. Now, will they let me that works, right?
Yeah, we tested out.
Okay, yeah.
Alright, for these 4 games, I can give you $8.50
Hi.
for
Good.
$12.75 for credit.
They actually have a few box Nintendo 64 games. They've got Banjo-Kazooie for $30 and Diddy Kong Racing for $25. I don't know if it's got the directions. Road Rash for $25 and Mario for $44.99. It looks in pretty good. Mario looks in pretty good shape. So does Diddy Kong. The Road Rash is a little bit worked, and so is the Banjo-Kazooie.
What are those?
Yeah, well. I've got all 4 of those Sega CD games, but they have some. There's your GameCube Resident Evil 2 and 3 for $40 and $35. $20 for Resident Evil. That Metroid Prime trilogy is in pretty good shape for $70. Looks like it might be sealed. They probably resealed it themselves. Dark Alliance 2 for $40. I picked that up for $10 one time, or I think my cousin did with a pawn shop when I was with him. Lunar Complete, $65. Got a Mortal Kombat 3 PlayStation 1 down there for $25. Long box. Ah, well. This is all the retro shit right here. This is it. Loose cart. Super expensive bullshit. $15. We just got it for $5. Yeah. So the Resident Evil Revelations is like 16 something. I don't know if that's a good deal or not. I just need to go to GameStop or price it online. I don't know if $16.99 is a good deal. Yeah, well, that's about the extent of this, because I don't see anything jumping out at me, and that price on that Revelations game seems a little bit pricey. That Singularity game over resale they had for $6, I think. Here it's 10. resale might be the better deal. Better place to go than vintage stock nowadays. So, anyway. So $16.99 for the Revelations wasn't outrageous, but I actually considered getting it and I carried it around for a minute. But I think I'm gonna check at GameStop and then check on eBay, because I'm not sure if that's really the best deal. And yeah, as you saw, it had a Resident Evil Outbreak for the PS2 in there, and it was $15, and I just paid $5 for it at Resale Electronics. They did have some Nintendo 64 box games that were pretty nice and not too crazy. I mean, the Mario for $45 seemed a little pricey. If it had the directions, it looked like it wasn't a million seller. Mine's a million seller copy, but I told you I'm not a huge Mario fan, but the box looked in pretty good shape. If it had the directions and the cart didn't have a bunch of stickers or bullshit on it, $45 wouldn't be out of my range of picking it up if I didn't have a copy. I thought it looked all right. The $25 Diddy Kong I actually considered, because I do really like Diddy Kong Racing. It's one of the few games that I do really like on the 64 is Diddy Kong and Mario Kart 64. So I don't know. I wasn't feeling it. Not for those prices today. I mean, I don't want to pay over $20 for something, for one thing today that I'm probably just going to put on the shelf and not play. If I'm going to spend $20, I might as well buy that Revelations game that I will play, and not buy something just to put on my shelf. So anyways, like I said, we're going to go over to this GameStop and go in, and they always hit me as soon as I come in the door. Hey, what you looking for? What can we help you with? Oh, let me recommend 500 games for you that you don't want to play. I'm always just like, one time I walked in there and the guy's like, can I help you? And I go, not really. I was just like, I go, well, I didn't say not really. I thought not really. And then I'm like, well, I came in to look at the PS4 games. I just picked one up. And he's like, oh yeah, what do you got? You know, and I'm like, oh, here we go. So I'm like, I tell him that what I had bought, and he's like, oh yeah, and he's trying to talk to me about the Star Wars Battlefront 2 game, and I haven't done anything but install it, and I haven't even started the main mission because I started playing a different game, and I told him that I had XCOM 2, and he's like, oh yeah, and he starts talking about XCOM, not XCOM 2, which was fine, because I go, actually, I was just getting ready to start XCOM 2, and I had just beaten XCOM Enemy Within that night, and I went in there just to look around before I started playing XCOM 2, and because what I was doing was I was having to install it and update my system and stuff, so it was going to take like 10 or 15 minutes, so I decided to run out and just go do something for, you know, a half hour and come back and it'd be installed. And, you know, the guy's like, oh, and I go, I just got it, I haven't played it yet, you know, and stuff, and he's like, well, do you like Dark Souls? And I've never played Dark Souls, and I go, that's what I did. I said, not really to that, because I just didn't want to get into a big conversation about Dark Souls. Like, if I said I had never played it, that he would want to hype it up to me and try to sell it to me. So I was just like, you know, instead of saying, nah, man, I've never really played it, you know, and then getting in a huge conversation with the guys, it's like, nah, I don't really care about it, even though I really don't know anything about it. So yeah, there's a lot of car chat in this one. It's probably all shaky and fucking crooked and shit. This might be the better way to film me, I don't know, than putting it in that stupid thing that clips onto my vent that rattles and fucking is now shifting position. So yeah, let's go to GameStop. Let's go to GameStop. Let's go to GameStop. Oh baby, let's go to GameStop. Well, this is an aptly named place to stop looking for games today. This is going to be our last place. They do have it. 18, so it's actually $2 more expensive here because I don't have their elite thing. Alright folks, so GameStop ended up being a little bit of an adventure. I went in and the prices were a little high on the Revelation. It was a couple bucks higher for Revelations than it was at Vintage Stock. But it turned out, for some reason, that GameStop was running a buy two get one free sale today only, and you did not have to be a pro member in order to partake. So, because I asked him when he said that, I was like, do you got to have the card and everything? He's like, no, man, you can just buy two, get one on any used stuff today. It's kind of a customer appreciation because we got a good rating. Our store got a good rating, I don't know, or something from people. So, we're doing a buy two, get one on the Pops and on the video games. So, I bought some Pops. I'm not going to show them. I bought a Stranger Things one and a couple video game ones. I'll put those with my other video game ones when I do a video game pop and rock candy figure thing here real soon. But I ended up going kind of nuts, and thanks to a fellow YouTuber, I decided to pick these up. Well, two YouTubers actually. I ended up picking up Resident Evil Revelations, and it was $18.99, which was a little more than the, I don't know, like I said, I think I priced it online, but I didn't really notice how much it was or take notice of how much it was because I didn't plan on buying it right away. But I picked up, this is kind of a Resident Evil fucking video again, but this is probably the last of it now. And then, just because of that, I went ahead and picked up Revelations 2, which was actually cheaper than Revelations 1. I think it was like $15.99 or something. But he had a copy without the GameStop stickers all over it inside their, when he went to get the game. So he just gave me this one that doesn't have the price sticker on it. And then Vampire Mike, I picked up Resident Evil Biohazard. And this one was $27. And like I said, I think I saw it a little bit cheaper online, but considering I got these three games for roughly, I think it was, what was it, $18.99, so 19 and 28, whatever that is. 19 and 28, so we'll say 20 and 45, so it's like 47 bucks. So I got three games for $47, so it's about 15 a piece. So I figured for these three titles that wouldn't be too bad. And then we, like I said, we got three of the Pop guys. He's like, one of these Pop guys is only $5. Sure you don't want to pick out a better one or another one that is more expensive because you'll get a better deal on it for free? And I was like, nah, man. I was like, I picked out the ones I wanted. I looked through them for like 10 minutes. So, I mean, I picked out the ones I wanted. So it was kind of one of those deals. So anyway, it's time to go cry in my beer, or I don't drink, but cry about the money I just spent, but also check out some new games. So, yeah. Anyway, I'm going to sign off for this video, and we'll rough it together and put it online for you and slap a sticker on it and sell it to you. Well, we don't sell it to you. You know, we don't do the monetization here, so. Slap it, put a bow on it, and give it to you as a gift, I guess. So, thanks for coming by, folks. Adam signing off, and we'll see you next video. Bye.
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained? Is this not why you were here?